My family's wedding nightmare, shattered vows, unleashed chaos, and hearts in ruins. I'm Sam, 28 years old, and trust me, you're going to want to hear the rest of this story. So, Sarah's wedding day started out like any other, with nerves and excitement buzzing in the air. As she made her grand entrance down the aisle, radiant in her gown, I couldn't shake this feeling in my gut. Call it a hunch, call it intuition, but something was off, and boy, was I right. Just as Sarah was about to say those two little words, the church doors swung open, and in walks Jake, Sarah's ex. Now, I don't know what possessed him to crash the wedding, but there he was, looking all determined and desperate. Tom, poor guy, went from beaming to bewildered in a split second, and Sarah. She was torn between shock and fury, her eyes darting between Jake and Tom like she was watching a tennis match. Then, all hell broke loose. Tom's mom, Mrs. Thompson, started laying into Jake like it was all his fault. And sure, crashing a wedding isn't exactly polite, but still, the lady's got a temper. Meanwhile, Sarah's dad, let's call him Mr. H, stepped in, trying to play peacemaker. But before he could even say a word, he and Mrs. Thompson were going at it, trading insults like they were in some kind of verbal boxing match. The tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. And just when you think it couldn't get any crazier, Sarah's grandma, bless her heart, suddenly collapsed. Now, I'm no doctor, but even I know that ain't good. As Sarah rushed to her grandma's side, the chaos only escalated. Next thing we knew, there was a loud crash from the back of the church. Turns out, Tom's brother and Jake decided to settle their differences the old-fashioned way with their fists. In the end, the wedding, it was called off, obviously. Sarah was in tears, Tom was in shock, and the rest of us, well, we were just trying to make sense of it all. Chairs went flying, people started shouting. It was like a scene from a movie, only we were living it, and there was no director yelling cut. But that wasn't the end of the drama. Oh no, it was just the beginning. Because as Sarah and Tom tried to pick up the pieces of their shattered wedding day, secrets started bubbling to the surface. Rumors flew, accusations were made, and suddenly, it seemed like everyone had something to hide. It was like a powder keg ready to explode, and let me tell you, explode it did. Amidst the chaos, tensions within the family reached an all-time high. Sarah and Tom's relationship hung by a thread, with trust shattered and hearts broken. As the dust settled, the true extent of the family's dysfunction became apparent. Feuds that had been simmering for years boiled over, and alliances shifted like sand in the wind. And through it all, Sarah and Tom were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered dreams. What was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives had turned into a nightmare they couldn't wake up from. But in the midst of all the heartache and betrayal, there was a glimmer of hope. Because sometimes, it takes hitting rock bottom to find the strength to rebuild. As Sarah and Tom slowly began to heal, they realized that their love was stronger than any obstacle. And though their journey was far from easy, they emerged from the wreckage stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling tales like this one. Have a wild story of your own? Drop it in the comments below. We can't wait to hear your craziest adventures.